Welcome to Axie Open Manila 2022. We've got 256 of the world's greatest Axie players all congregating here at Circuit Makati for the first time, and we can't be more excited, more thrilled to have all of these great folks with us. Thanks so much to our sponsors Sky Mavis, YGG, Blockchain Space, and Globe and GCAT.
Hi guys, Gabby Dizon here, co-founder of YGG. This is Axie Open Manila 2022. It's one of the biggest Axie tournaments ever organized by YGG, along with our friends at Blockchain Space. We have players from all over the world that are battling it out, from our YGG esports team to all of the guilds from around the world. This is just the beginning, and we're about to see a lot more exciting stuff happen in Web3 esports.
Welcome everyone, we're here in Manila 2022 playing some Axie Infinity Origins. As you can see behind me, people are getting down, they're having a good time, and if you're not part of the revolution, you need to join up now.
We are the Axie Fam! Let's go! YG the best! Woo! Let's go YG!
What's up everybody, it's Jiho. I'm here at the Axie Manila Open. The energy is super high, the turnout is incredible. I'll be here over the next couple of days. Let's see who can rise to the challenge and take home the 7 million peso prize pool.
We love Axie Philippines! Let go, baby!
Hey guys, my name is Nix. I'm the Philippine lead for Axie Infinity. So one thing that we're trying really is to make sure that it's not just Manila that's getting the attention for these big prize tournaments. We actually did a tournament last month in Cabanatuan. We called it Capsicon. Before this event, that was the biggest. We had like 800 people, an audience, 180 players and stuff like that. So it was really exciting. We plan on going to other provinces as well, bringing Axie Origins to these provinces so more people can play and experience Axie Infinity.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Famine Rice. I'm a Twitch streamer. Today I'm in the semifinals. I'm waiting to play my match. And overall, I feel good. The community here is like really nice. I feel confident. And I hope my luck continues. Respect to everyone that made the top 16 or top 32. Like, it takes a lot of mental fortitude in order to not break from RNG, in order to not break from just exhaustion. Biggest challenge that anyone can have in a game where, random things can happen is just a little bit of luck, Sometimes you might draw bad, sometimes you might draw well. It's all about how you react to it. Don't let yourself get too down if it's not out of your control. But mistakes do happen sometimes, and when they do happen, you gotta stay strong because it's best of 5. Plenty of chances to win.
Our grand champion for Axie Open Manila 2022, a huge sweep by Spam and Rice.
The Philippine Web3 Festival closed officially, and gosh, it's been a crazy week. We had so many amazing speakers, we had so many amazing partners and sponsors. It just says so much about how the Philippines truly is at the very center of Web3, that all of this support kind of just came pouring into the country for the first time. The entire team cannot wait to see the world again next year when we do another one.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Sedano. Hey,
Oh,
Igor.
hey there. There you go. Hey guys, how you guys doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Today we are
Christmas.
on a questing vibe. We have the
Yes, sir.
one of the kings of questing.
How you doing, Igor? How's the weather over there, man?
Good. Obviously, this is not my background, but I'm okay. I'm okay. The weather is fine. How are you guys doing? Snowy?
Great, man. Excited for Christmas season. So I can't believe Christmas is happening this week, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or Christmas Eve. So everyone at home, Merry Christmas to all of you. But before we get into the holiday seasons, we have our last AMA for, if I'm not mistaken, for the year, right? So yeah, it's gonna be a big one. We have the one and only Igor from DeQuest, and yeah, glad to have you here, man.
Same. No, I'm super excited. Right, we've been talking for quite some time now, so it's good to have you guys here.
Absolutely, I think what DeQuest are doing is a really central part of what YGG are doing as well in terms of on-chain reputation. We're extremely excited to have you here today. I for one, have talked to you quite a number of times, Igor. Really excited to show the YGG community what you guys are doing at DeQuest. For those that haven't already, please give us the elevator pitch for what you guys.
Sure. So we are looking at the Web3 gaming future, specifically from the side of reputation, bringing that reputation on chain and sort of creating one place for you as a gamer in the Web2 and the Web3 world, right? So we really strive to become your place where we can aggregate all of your gaming experience, right, from Web 2 and Web 3, and in the virtue of giving you the ability to collect and put all of that together in one place, giving you additional value as a gamer if your reputation is high enough, right? So we've really started hard on the Quest, kind of launching the first gaming Quest platform in the market. Now we've since released our Realm product for engaging the community of games, which we have a very nice event going on with Illuvium right now, Illuvium Christmas, that you can find on the platform very easily. That kind of showcases that. And then next year we're gonna have a lot more stuff coming, kind of pushing us even more forward on the side of the only place you need to be in for GameFi. So super excited about that, and obviously for next year also we're looking to add a lot more for gaming communities. So there's going to be a lot more opportunities there for collaborations with YGG.
Gotcha. But
Awesome
yeah, I mean,
stuff,
it's good that you mentioned it. So I think we definitely are, on the same path here, as Saratobi said, right? But one really cool thing about DeQuest is we're not only catering to Web3 games, but also Web2 as well. So basically, we are in the earliest iterations of an IRL gamer ranking system, right? So gamers all across the world will be ranked, and everything, or like this data or this reputational system will definitely be on chain, and it's very exciting. But then like Igor, one thing that kind of tickles my fancy here is that I'm curious. So how did you guys actually think about of the concept of actually building this? Like, what was the thought process behind that?
You mean just the whole story, like how it came to be from that side? It's taken us quite a while, right? So we've been working on this for the last 15 months, I would say, or maybe even more. Probably a little bit more. Initially, we started as a data company, so we really thought about just an article for reputation, right? And collecting the data points around just on data points, showing into the games. But in time, we saw that the market it's a little bit early for that in the market. So we have swerved a little bit to a much larger product to be effective at the current, where the games are at right now. And this has been, I think, a really good solution because like it allows us to basically grow as the games are growing in the market right now, and as they're doing more stuff, we're already there. We're supporting and basically enlarge the amount of the products we have based on what they have at the moment. So like a good example for that, I would say, would be on the side of like in-game data, right? When we started approaching games, about a year ago and telling them, just give us our in-game data, etc., etc. Primarily not because they don't want to share that, but because they didn't have that yet. And right now it's a whole different situation. We are in a place where the games are offering that stuff to us, right? Offering that to integrate. It's perfect for our stage of growth right now. So yeah, it's that's how it has been, and kind of the vision has, as we've seen, kind of the gaming market also go. That's like 15 months ago we were kind of like play to earn, right? And looking at the games that will to work that model out. Since I think now looking at the shift that market is dynamic, that okay, play to earn doesn't work for some, they will still try, right? But we're new methods. We're now looking at new games that try something with either multiple different layers of digital assets or just one layer of digital assets via NFTs, and new ways of rewarding that, kind of moving away from that like simplistic style, I would say, of Axie. So yeah, it's really exciting. That's kind of how we put it. And I think a big change in our vision more recently, I would say, was like understanding that not only do we want to do reputation, we also want to do distribution, and it actually makes a lot of sense for us to go into the distribute as well for games. So that has like shifted the focus of the platform a lot. Yeah.
Gotcha. Fantastic. So when you say you're doing distribution, can you tell us a little bit about what that would look like?
So still in the works, but in general, we are looking to do the race right now for buying into the Web3 games, right? So just as an example, I would say like really, 1 second, sorry. Doggy went hard. So for example, okay, actually guys, give me just one second. I'll go.
Interesting. I mean, sorry, Toby. So, like, definitely we already have some sort of, questing system ourselves, right, for the Guild Advancement Program. But, I mean, like, looking at what DeQuest has, like, the dashboard in itself, like, everything's already, pretty much good to go. But then how do you actually, as a core team member of YGG, how do you see the Guild Advancement Program working in tangent with the DeQuest, man?
Absolutely. I mean, in the future, I really see the Guild Advancement Program from YGG's perspective being able to aggregate, opportunities from all of the Web3 space. So that means that as a YGG member, you'll have some of the opportunities that are present within the Web3 and chain gaming space. I think that's really a kind of core, what being part of YGG means. Not only are you going to get like the quests that are kind of native to YGG, but in addition to that, you're also going to get like quests and opportunities from within the kind of broader some of what's available within Web3 and blockchain gaming.
Gotcha. I mean, just to loop you in, Igor, I was actually asking Saratobi like what his thoughts were on.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
That's working right, working parallel, right? But yeah, I mean, but you know, like something that's been running in the back of my head for the past 5 minutes is that, you know, now we can actually like justify, you know, giving our community a platform to play these Web2 games, right? So I mean, go at it, guys. So yeah, we have DeQuest to save the day definitely for that.
I think there's a lot going to happen for community engagement. Actually, give me a second. I'll explain the community engagement a little bit more. So on the side of the friction, right? That happens right now. If you were to look at it like a typical Web3 game, they have, let's say, there are a couple of collections, a couple of NFT collections, and maybe a token, right? And the process of like selecting the NFT assets that you need for playing the game is pretty difficult, or let's say at least time consuming, right? For the player, right? And the additional thing here, and I think you know, both of you guys can agree with this, is that especially when you're purchasing like a GameFi NFT in comparison to like just art NFT or your typical NFT collections, you're always thinking like, am I buying into the meta right now, right? Like, am I making not just the right choice of like purchasing an asset, but like, am I doing something that is correct right now? Which kind of adds a layer of like difficulty, which is pretty interesting, first of all, right? And secondly, I think it just adds more friction to the process, right? Is that people are just stressed, right? They're stressed on not making the right decision. And I think that process actually needs to be super fun, right? They just need to be excited about purchasing their first, you know, NFT asset for a game, rather than, you know, being stressed that they're making a wrong decision, right? Et cetera, et cetera. And if we combine this with the fact that you like, even though there's a whole market of NFT and digital assets like for games, most of the people, they still think in the same terms around games as they would like in your typical Web2 scenarios, right? Like, I'm willing to throw in like $500 or like $1,000 into the game, right? Yeah, I may have some return, I may have not, but they have sort of a psychological level of that they can enter in, right? Which also does not always work well with NFT assets on different blockchains that you need to figure out, potentially pushing you to do cross-chain bridging and transactions and all of that stuff, right, of that process. So we're basically building, or we're trying to build, let's say, a process that will take the user like 2-3 clicks, allow them to just like spend $100 or like $500, and give them sort of like a set of all the digital items that they need to start playing the game. So like a starter kit, let's say. And where a reputation will come in here is that the game will actually look at your reputation, and it will potentially offer you different types of bonuses or like discounts or additional digital items based on your reputation, which ties in super well into our platform and kind of allows us to close the user loop, so to say, of a player kind of getting in to not only engage with and onboard into the game, but also to start playing, right? Get their first assets. Yeah.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome. So, I mean, in terms of, you know, DeQuest as a platform, do you see this as a platform that's obviously going to, you know, integrate with like all of the different guilds, and how are guilds going to be kind of integrated onto the DeQuest platform in the future?
So for us, we've been sort of at a crossroads for a while, because like we've thought about really going hard on the guilds initially, but as kind of, I think, as the market steamed out a little bit, I saw that there's a bigger benefit to focus on the games first and to really pinpoint their pain points, right? So we focused on that. And right now, as we have a very well-functioning community engagement platform for DeQuest, and that we've been kind of testing it over the last basically 4 months. It's been going great. We're now getting to the second stage of getting back into the guilds, getting back into the gaming communities, where in terms of the guilds, we're also like thinking about that, you know, there's not only guilds as in like Web3 guilds, there's also, you have like micro guilds, let's say. There's also, that we've been talking about with you, right? There's also influencers, right? That are sort of like guilds, or they at least work as a center for a gaming community.
Communities, yeah.
Yeah, and then just even smaller than micro guilds, there's just like, let's call them like small gangs of users, right, that come together to play. And let's say there's just like 10 of them, right? But they, like, that 10 can be a very hard hitting 10 and can, you know, climb the leaderboards of, you know, of like multiple games, right? So looking at that kind of whole environment, we wanted to aggregate all these types of communities together in a sort of way. So we've come up with this like other name for them, which we're calling them armies. So we're calling them like calling them armies. And the way we're going to start kind of integrating them into the platform is that first of all, every like army, you can just, like, any person can go and create an army, although we will be checking kind of the official guilds, official kind of influencers and stuff like that. Probably going to be launching that together with you, with other guilds, and that is also going to give you a preset ability to create a reputation on chain through a more like typical army ranking situation, right? Inside of that platform, you're actually going to be able to provide players with activities on the DeQuest platform as well as in game. And that kind of revolves around the quest live, right? Or quest that we will be releasing in the future. You will be able to automatically verify if a user has actually kind of done the quest, right? The larger educational quest that we have on the platform, which kind of gives you sort of a lot of automation space as a community to see which players actually have sort of like a high level in gaming. Plus, we're going to provide the communities with the ability to see on chain who are the sort of like scholar type people in the guild and who are people that are just big fans and they have a lot of money, right? And the engagement process there can be different, which makes a lot of sense as well. Finally, you will be able to see the genre attribution of your community members. So you'll be able to see based on their like Steam or Epic Games history, if they're more of a strategy player, if they're more an FPS player, if they're more of like an MMORPG player. And we see that this data is extremely valuable for gaming communities, as it allows you to filter your audience and actually provide the right audience for the right games, right? And now where it becomes super interesting is that on the side of reputation, obviously that is also going to be supplemented by on-chain soulbound NFTs, right? We will most likely be providing ways to integrate existing on-chain reputation. So for example, like for YGG, I've been looking at YGG India, I've been looking at your guys' badges, right? So these are things we can integrate into the reputation system as well. So it aligns, right? It's not, it's something synergetical, right? It's not just two isolated things, which we're excited about. And where it actually, where the most fun happens is where you already see the games live, right, on the DeQuest platform. What we're going to allow them to do is to start to create like tournament-like events where these gaming communities can actually participate in an automated fashion. And the way this is going to work for the players is that they will be able to take on sort of like a banner of a guild or a gaming community or something like that, and carry that banner, right? Play the game, kind of align themselves to that gaming community, right? And participate on behalf of it, right? So these are not going to be your like typical like 2 versus 2 or like 10 versus 10 tournaments. This is more like an event type tournament where, you know, which community gets like the most alluvials catches the most alluvials in this week, for example, you know, stuff like that, right? And I think from that side of automation and the ease of participation of gaming communities kind of coming together into these games, I think that's going to be a big kind of step forward for us, and that gets me like very excited. Yeah.
Oh, I think you're on mute there, Toby.
Sorry, yeah, I was just saying, sorry, I was on mute there. I was just saying, like, I for one am extremely proud of all the kind of PlayStation Network trophies that I have. I mean, obviously I'm a PlayStation gamer, but you know, I might also be proud of my Xbox trophies. That's not my specific case, but I'm sure that there are plenty of Xbox gamers or PC gamers out there that would have a lot of, you know, Xbox trophies, Switch trophies as well on the Nintendo ecosystem. I for one kind of envisage this amazing kind of, you know, player identity that kind of aggregates all of these different achievements into one kind of overarching profile. Is that something which you think DeQuest is going to be able to assist with?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. I think not Switch for a while, because Switch is like such an isolated system for some reason. They're a little bit crazy on a lot of things.
I'm more of a PlayStation gamer myself.
Weird, you know. Yeah, I think PlayStation, Xbox will come. We need to get a little bit deeper into their like dev programs to get them in to be able to like fully verify
crazy because at the end of
kind of stuff.
It literally is all it is the trophies. Like, I know it sounds crazy,
yeah,
but like,
yeah.
You know, it's such a meaningful part of like our gamer history. Like, I for one have like, you know, chased down a lot of like platinum trophies, or, you know, tried to get that gold trophy. You know, platinum's sometimes a bit on the challenging side, but like, you know, we all go for those kind of achievements, and, you know, you want those to kind of migrate across the different gaming ecosystems. And sometimes like being able to, like, if you buy a new game, you know, especially if, say, like, you know, one thing that I envisage for the future is this idea of, you know, when you're starting a new game, you know, I think some games have already experimented with it. Some games have done it really well. I think I can't remember if it was Metal Gear Solid 2 or some other games out there that where they've already kind of detect that you've played a precursor game. And, you know, this is a really exciting thing for me, this idea that you can jump into a game and they can see, okay, this person is clearly like platinumed 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 or 5, you know, we're talking Call of Duty here, maybe this person has platinumed 5 versions of Call of Duty. Are you going to be put through the tutorial? Yes, no. It's very simple programming, and it's kind of like this massive opportunity to, like, say, on chain, like, okay, we have a user account, we identify ourselves as being this specific user. You can clearly demonstrate that, you know, I've got like 3 or 4 or whatever platinum trophies. You know, maybe it's Assassin's Creed, maybe Call of Duty. They're going to reward you on the basis of that. They're going to, you know, maybe they're going to avoid you doing the tutorial. Maybe they're going to say, okay, we see that you've done these. This is the differences. These are the key differences between the game you've played and the games you're playing now. But, you know, it seems like a far more intelligent use of that data, because right now it just feels like the data that's involved with like the reputational systems that are involved with games is just not being taken advantage of as much as it could be.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And I think that is a great point, and it's a problem as well, right? So for a lot of games, taking that extra step on adding additional value to players with a reputation is problematic, right? Honestly, it seems like they always like the idea, but it seems like most of the time they're either too busy, right, to do something like that. So when we're talking about reputation with games, we always look at, you know, small fish to catch, right? Like easy value points to bring to the game through reputation. And actually, while you were talking, this got me thinking a little bit about the prospect of you know how right now they give you like an additional digital asset in Web2 games if you pre-order something, right? Would make actually a lot of sense to give you like an additional digital asset if you actually platinum the previous game, right? That could actually be really good for marketing and for additional sales for the previous game as well, right? Could be nice.
And I think this is, you know, a lot of people kind of argue with the kind of interoperability argument and say like, okay, so what value are kind of on-chain reputational items? But if, let's say we can identify that user clearly has platinumed a previous game or platinumed 3 games. You know, if a user has platinumed 3 Call of Duty games, it might be quite likely that maybe a new Battlefield game that appeals to that user, okay, maybe we want to drop them an NFT. Maybe we want to drop them an opportunity to have certain, you know, abilities or that aren't available to all users, because you want to try and actively use those on-chain credentials to try and poach that user actively, and that's kind of something that I find really exciting.
Yeah, no, that is exactly like where we're going with this as well, right? Especially on the side of like genre attribution, understanding the actual like genre of games and expertise the people that play these games have, right? Towards providing value. So yeah, that's a great point, right? I think that's where it's going to go, right? But I think we will really start from very simplistic applications of that, right? And then kind of grow out of these like simple to more detailed versions, right, of reputation usage and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
I love it. I mean, there's just so many possibilities, right? I mean, we're still in the very early stages of, you know, Web3 reputations, but I mean, as early as now, like you guys being able to build, you know, with a network of up and coming games and also guilds that will be providing players to these games, you know, it just says a lot about, you know, what's in store for us in the next couple of months, next couple of years, right? So there are people working day in and day out trying to get the system up and running. I mean, but you know, like just trying to like wind it back a bit. Like, I'm pretty curious. So, how do you guys over at DeQuest, you know, decide which games, you know, you prioritize, or let's say like which games do you put on the front page? Like, how does it work?
So right now it's mostly based on like just our BD, right, and kind of looking at. We're at a stage right now where we're continuously like launching additional features, right? So basically just taking the game that is of high quality, right, is large enough, or has a large community, right? Plus they can actually provide something new to our system in terms of either in-game data or some kind of like special event that we can run with them. And we focus on that, right? So Illuvium has been like, for example, like this Christmas event has been something we planned for a long time. We've been, you know, talking to them since probably August this year. So it's been a long time coming. Plus, like I love what they're working on. I love the games they're working on. So it's been a very easy decision, right? With the other games, we have a lot of games in queue right now. Again, just focusing on how high quality, right? And especially those that have like a game running already, it just gives us much more kind of ability to do interesting stuff with them, right? So yeah, mostly that's kind of the focus. Later down the line, the games will actually be able to sort of like bid on who gets to be, you know, first seen on the landing page and stuff like that, right? But for now, we're taking kind of you know, a slower approach, focusing on, you know, who's the perfect partner for the next iteration of the platform, right? Just for us to grow organically. Yeah.
Gotcha. It makes sense. But now, how about for, let's say, Web 2 games? I mean, so like first question is what Web 2 games are about to be implemented on the Quest, and how do you plan to select the next few games that are about to be released? Like, does it mean that, let's say, there's a new, I don't know, maybe Modern Warfare 3 or something? So is it assured that we're going to be having some sort of integration because it's a hot game, or yeah, I mean, how does that work?
Uh, hot. So yeah. So for Web 2 games, that's gonna like happen separately, right? I think we're gonna start posting them late January or February, right? I'm actually building sort of like a whole separate onboarding experience for Web 2 players, so that they don't have to really understand crypto for the next like. It's like so like they can log in, they can register, and they don't need to understand crypto. Let's say for like 30, 60 minutes of using the platform, they can have fun and have zero understanding of crypto, and it's fine, right? That's the sort of approach we're taking with Web2 gamers. But for Web3, we sort of have already like a long list of partners. We've been talking for like 6 months already, right? That we have like quests already completed for them. It's just not launched yet, right? We're just waiting for the right time, et cetera, et cetera. So like the ones I can probably mention are like Planet IX doing like really good work on Polygon. Really liking what they're doing there. We got like DeFi Kingdoms. They have like, I think they had a good launch, and they keep on iterating and innovating, right? Also from the newer games, we have like the Harvest, Block Lords, already live on the platform, and a lot of others. Obviously, honestly, there's like 30, 40 of them just waiting. So I'm just working my ass off trying to get the platform ready for all of them so that everything works great. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, I mean, yeah, before we move on to the next questions, I'd like to remind everyone who's tuned in across the board that we are actually live on the YGG Discord for our Q&A and AMA questions for Igor. So, make sure to drop by, and for those guys who are here on Discord, make sure to drop those questions. Yeah, make sure to drop them, and we're gonna get those answered in a few minutes. But yeah, no, thanks for that, Igor. And yeah, back to you. Sorry, Toby.
No, I'm extremely excited to see what DeQuest has on offer. If you're a small game, how do you envisage, YG? How do you envisage like ways to, function alongside DeQuest? Like if you're a small game, is there going to be a world in which, okay, I'm a small game, I'm going to be able to like integrate onto DeQuest without having to kind of deal directly with you guys, or how do you see that playing out?
So yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to happen end of next month or like in February. We're going to release our realms public, and will be able to log in, create the profile of their game, and start using the system, right? Engaging the community, minting soulbound NFTs, all of that jazz. It's all going to be there for them. We're just optimizing and ready for that, honestly. So that's going to be there, right? It's just there's enough functionality, right, for you to use DeQuest without sort of like getting sort of the user flow of the general DeQuest platform, right? Just use it as a tool. Right, for your own community. So that's going to be available. And then just the games that we have sort of talked with, right, or we've seen that they have confirmed that it's actually them, right? They have connected their Twitter account, they have connected their Discord account, right? We'll then basically highlight them as official, right? So there is going to be this like search function, right? An ability to see which games are actually, are done from the side of the game itself, right? They're not just, made, by some fan or something like that, right? Yeah, the plan for next year, for the next like 3-4 months, is to onboard 50-60 games. So I think we'll have quite a couple there that are of smaller kind, right? That are, maybe there's just a couple of devs, right, working on something new. I'm actually looking a lot at on-chain games. There's a lot of them being built by small teams, right, in a very kind of indie way, I would say. And for us, it's also interesting just from the aspect of getting a lot of information on chain about users' activity. So yeah, I think it's going to work for both for big games and mid-size and small games, etc. Yeah.
That's really
Gotcha.
exciting.
Oh, go ahead, sorry, Toby.
No, just saying I'm super pumped to see this play out.
Awesome. I mean, so I think we can jump into a few community questions here. So, maybe like we could start off with there's a mention of a meta passport or the proof of experience. So, how does this fit into the whole picture of using DeQuest, Igor?
So that's where that the meta passport is sort of like the aggregator of your reputation, right? So when I'm talking about like a gamer score, sort of like an investor score, collector score, all of that stuff, whether it ties in from on-chain analysis or from the off-chain integrations we have with other Web2 platforms, that's all the meta passport is going to be your like premier place for all of your cred, right? And the meta passport is gamified, right, through our hero system that you can kind of level up through DeQuest, build yourself like a very cool looking hero. Later down the line, initially it's going to be a soulbound NFT that's going to release next quarter, and then in time we'll actually provide additional ways to sort of add a financial layer there. When you get to the higher levels of the meta passport, you can actually remint it sort of as a transferable NFT, and it becomes like a very valuable product, both in the sort of like the access to the same kind of level of people, like a sub in the sub-DAO form, but also in the form of that, like, it obviously took the person a long time, right, to build that reputation up. So you'll be able to like financialize that to some extent. So we're kind of working on making that kind of interesting, both for your general players and for people that want to extract like the most value out of that as well.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was muted. But yeah, I mean, so pushing this like a bit forward, let's say in 5 to 10 years. So how does the meta passport look like, or maybe even DeQuest in general? Like, how do you see this, as scaling? Yeah.
So ideally, we see the meta passport becoming not only just your credentials, but also your meta avatar as well, like that hero that we're building. Being able to, you'll be able to utilize that across different metaverse experiences, right? We are already getting pretty deep into Sandbox. We have since received 4 different grants for 4 different experiences being built on Sandbox, which I'm extremely excited about. I think that kind of provides us with a very unique experience of game building that not a lot of really companies have that are dealing with games, right? But don't have that game like Web3 game building experience. So I'm excited about that. And then from the standpoint of the platform itself in general, the way it's going to happen is that I think as time goes by, I think the distribution system that we're going to have on the platform will play a more large role in time, and the platform is going to come looking closer and closer to something like Steam, probably without the hosting aspect of it, right? But with a very large aspect on reputation, direct to consumer advertising, from the side of financial methods of kind of paying back via that reputation, right? longer incentive loops, I would say. Much larger focus on the community engagement side, right? As I said, we're looking to become, I think we literally have everything to become the largest tournament platform for Web3 gaming, just because we're changing kind of the way that's going to work for Web3 games. So I think that's going to be a big part of it. And in the end, these large kind of educational quests, that is going to go straight into UGC, right? So it's not going to be something that we do exclusively, right? The whole community can build these quests, the games can build these quests, etc., etc. They can reward for going through them. It just makes a lot of sense. And I think in time, this system is just going to like organically follow the steps of the GameFi market, right? Obviously, like, we are very dependent on how Web3 gaming is going to look like in 5 years, right? And I think that is going to like twist the vision of DeQuest, right, as we're going. But I think we are in the best place right now as it possibly can be to do that, right? As we've surrounded ourselves with great partners like you guys, obviously, at YGG, and some of the top games in the market, right? I think Illuvium is like, you know, I think it's not really like maybe top 2 game, right? Top 1, top 2 game right now in terms of like this AAA Web3 gaming, right? So I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I think that's where we're going, right? That's where we're going. I truly believe that there's just a lot of potential value capture through the system of reputation, and it has been underutilized a lot, right? And additionally, I think it has been underutilized in Web2 gaming as well. And honestly, my kind of big my big hope is that we find good product market fit in the Web2 gaming space as well, and we help the Web2 gamers, right? Potentially even without kind of going super deep in the blockchain layer, right? Because I think, as we all can agree, the blockchain layer can exist, right, outside of the understanding of the player, right? That can all exist there, but as long as the utilities are there and the value is provided, everybody's going to be happy, right? Yeah, that's kind of I think where we're going.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes total sense. You know, like scaling like a platform like this definitely, you know, is not going to be an easy feat. But, you know, in the best case, like you can see, you know, millions and millions of people, and you guys are definitely, you know, helping onboard all of these people into Web3 games. Like Web2 gamers getting sight of what Web3 games are, being able to, you know, cross-reference those achievements, apply those skills that they have in Web2 games, and also be able to, you know, represent that in Web3. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of a difference. But you know, so Igor, like we have a really good question here from the community. From Mungdags. So he's asking, so how does the current market situation affect DeQuest as a whole? But I think a good way to rephrase it is that, you know, what are you focused on building in the next few months, right? And how does that change as, you know, as all of these games are released, or as we hit, you know, the next bull run? So how does that look like?
I think as a CEO, you're always in the middle of, you're always between like a rock and a hard place to some extent, where the rock is the current market situation, and the hard place is the technical capabilities of how fast you can develop, right? You know, I've been really trying to stretch our devs and you know, milk as much milk I can from the whole team, and you know, getting myself into these like long crunches that never end. I think I've been crunching, I think like since probably like end of August. It's been just like nonstop work. So but yeah, we're definitely going to take like a breather in January, just to breathe out, work on optimization of the platform, right? Release the realm for public beta, so that all different games can kind of come in, start using the platform that we're very excited about. As much as the games kind of release, right? Here we're limited by our kind of BD stuff, BD work, right, on doing something special, right, with the games, which I love to do, right? So like all of this crunch has been mainly because when we were approaching games, I was like, let's do something crazy, right? Let's do something new. And every time, every new game we had, we did a leap forward, right? And that has helped a lot grow the company, grow the team. I think we're going to like pause that a little bit for the next couple of months. I really want to see us releasing a beta version or like an alpha version of our bundles, our starter kits for distribution. I want to test it out with one of the games we have. That seems pretty exciting to me. Plus, the game started throwing around new ideas around the distribution system we're kind of pitching to them. So that's going to be exciting. And then I think by like end of Q1, we're going to release our proof of play system that's going to be specifically focused just on Web2 gamers, with a very slow kind of push of them into Web3. So yeah, that's and I think that really kind of fits our stage of development right now. It fits kind of the market. Honestly, yeah, I mean, like, it's obviously a little bit sad that it's a little bit slow, right? So I think all the gaming communities right now are slower than they were, 9 months ago, obviously, right? And we are, sometimes we're struggling to, reach the next like all-time high in users and stuff like that, right? But bear market is always time to build, right? It's time to build. It's time to focus on really what is valuable, gives you kind of a little bit perception, and that's what we're focused on. Yeah.
Great, I love it. I mean, I love the community question. So it's a really good way to get to pick Igor's brain here. So yeah, I mean, thanks for all the answers there, Igor. But yeah, I mean, before we move on to a few more questions, we actually have a really good question here, also from Monster Lover, but we'll get to that in a bit. But we do actually have a special treat for everyone in today's AMA, care of DeQuest. We are going to be giving out some YGG tokens at the end of the AMA. So the way we're going to do it is we are going to be having some sort of Q&A, some sort of quiz based on today's AMA. But before we even get to that, we would like to request everyone listening right now, Discord, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all across the board. So let's show some love for DeQuest. So make sure to hit that follow, hit that retweet, and join the DeQuest Discord. And yeah, go for it. That's at DeQuest_IO on Twitter. Let's go for it, guys. Yeah, so going back to Monster Lover's question here. So let's say, for example, that the community, or in general, let's say like the next good game, or the next game that's going to be released is game A. So how do you guys actually think or come up with the quests that you put on the platform? Like, do you guys follow a certain set of rules, or do you get the community to design these quests? So how does it actually, the creation of the quest system, work?
So the way it works right now is that we have an in-house research team, right? That we sort of have like sort of the same like line of research that we try to create for the games, where it goes through the idea is that how can we give all the information the user will need in 5-7 minutes to the gamer, right? And that usually goes through the side of what is the game about in general, right? Where it's going and the current status, and the financial layer, if there is one at the moment for the game, right? So we have found there was a lot of positive feedback from the players on the side of like really kind of sort of not financial advice really, but just giving them a perspective on what do they need to do right now? Like if they want to play the game right now, what do they need to do straight away, right? Kind of holding their hand a little bit in that process, I think is a good thing to do, right? So whenever like a new game kind of launches, it usually takes our research team like just a couple of days to have like 5 people in our research team that have been doing this for pretty fast. Everybody's like,
gotcha.
We spent a little bit as well for finishing.
Sorry, you cut off there a bit in the end. Can you hear us?
Hear you now. Yeah.
Could you just dial back up a bit, like in your last few sentences? Oh, you got caught off a bit there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was just that it takes like 2-3 days to complete the to create the quest, and then to come up with a design nice tea that we reward quest, right?
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, you touched on the reward system for there a bit. So yeah, could you give us a bit of a detailed explanation on how the users off the platform get rewarded for their time and effort spent doing these quests?
So right now we usually reward users with SBTs, like soulbound tokens, right, for completing the quest, which doesn't provide them with a lot of value. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second.
No worries. It's a good thing I have my my pet dogs outside of the house right now. I mean, they're too huge for my room anyway. They're gonna end up eating all my cables, Saratobi.
Yeah, I've got two kind of puppy dog. Well, they're not. Well, they're still pretty much puppies, and we have a small kind of outdoor area for those guys as well.
Yeah.
Definitely couldn't hack them in the office, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm a little bit stuck with them today, but yeah. So we're providing them with soulbound tokens, which are those soulbound NFTs that don't provide that much value right now, although they do kind of give you that additional experience to leveling up your meta passport, right? And then from the side of like more monetary rewards, whenever we launch a new quest, we usually do that together with the game, and the users that kind of participate in completing the quest in the first week are usually raffled to some form of monetary rewards, right? That's how it's usually done. Additionally, that's on the side of the larger quests. On the side of the smaller activities that we call like tasks and trophies, on the realms pages of the games, they do either like weekly lucky draws and stuff like that, where you complete these tasks and you basically can purchase your ticket into a lottery draw. That's how it works, right? And the idea is to kind of use that as a perpetual kind of marketing machine and community engagement machine for the games. Yeah.
All right. I mean, sounds good. So there you have it, guys. So make sure to check out DeQuest, because I mean, definitely those SBTs are definitely worth keeping, whether you like it or not. But yeah, these guys will be building out DeQuest as big as it can get, right? Yeah, I think that's it for me for now. I'll be running back for a few questions. But yeah, sorry, Toby, do you have anything for Igor?
No, I for one am just super excited to see the evolution of DeQuest as a platform and see how we can kind of interoperate from a YGG perspective. I think YGG as a guild is very much going to be, operating across like, multiple reputational platforms and kind of aggregating that information across all those different platforms. So I for one am like extremely excited. Please make sure to follow DeQuest on their Twitter. Please make sure to follow them on their Discord. Jump in, play around with the beta, build up your avatar. Really exciting stuff. Extremely exciting stuff in the pipeline. I for one very excited to see what you guys have in store. And please, if you have any leaks or exciting stuff, you can say, Igor, this is always a great place to drop the leaks, Igor.
Yeah.
So if you have any kind of alpha or leaks,
I think. I think it's definitely worth playing around with the beta. We have a beta event on the landing page right now that completing that will definitely yield you some rewards in the future, as well as we highly suggest that you participate in the Illuvium Christmas Advent Calendar event, where we actually have YGG there, I think, under the 19th. So if you find the Illuvium Christmas event, you'll see activities under the 19th of December in the advent calendar there. So yeah, just participating a lot right now. We're going to be providing a lot of additional opportunities next year as well to participate early, right? Be an early adopter of DeQuest. So we have a very long road in front of us, and we'll definitely be focusing on rewarding those early users when some more like financial layers for DeQuest come to be, right? So yeah, please do that. A lot of focus on the Illuvium Christmas campaign right now, but super excited what's going to come next year. And I think stay tuned for collaborations between YGG and DeQuest as well. Yeah.
For sure, 100%. So yeah, thank you so much, Igor, for dropping by and saying hi to the community. Yeah, before we go, I just want to remind everybody that stay tuned for our quick Q&A quiz that we're going to be having on the YGG AMA discussion text channel, care of our quiz master Sil. But then I dropped the link to the YGG and DeQuest tweet here for our Christmas event. So before you guys even think of grabbing your chance at YGG tokens, make sure that you have retweeted and followed the DeQuest Twitter. So go do that now, and yeah, we will be jumping into our quiz in a bit. But yeah, Igor, we'll leave you to taking care of your pets there. But yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the time, and Merry Christmas, and cheers to everyone tuned in tonight.
You too. Good guy. Thank you a lot, guys. Talk soon then. GG.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Cheers, guys. Bye.